Medigroup Physician Services presents Medigroup's Frank's Fast Five with Healthcare Executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters. Today's guest is Rayne Guest, founder and CEO for Arrowclean. Now, here's your host, Medigroup's Frank Gillespie.
All right, here we go. Nice to be with you again. Welcome to another edition of Medigroup's Frank's Fast Five. Today, I have the privilege of sharing in some conversation with Rayne Guest, founder and CEO for Arrowclean. Hey, Rayne.
Hi, Frank.
Yes, thank you so much. So, from the Arrowclean website, ladies and gentlemen, take a look under your kitchen sink. Have you ever thought about what goes into making those spray bottles that hold the cleaners and disinfectants you use around your home? Did you know that 15% of plastic waste polluting our oceans and landfills is from our household cleaning supplies? Arrowclean is here to help us all make a significant change. TK60 and FC Plus, produced by the Arrowclean device, replaces almost 1 million disinfecting and cleaning products in the market today. Rayne is here to give us a little bit more insight to that. And also, ladies and gentlemen, Arrowclean is a contracted supplier of Medigroup. Rayne, it's an honor and welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good, Frank. Happy Wednesday.
Thank you. Same to you. Good to see you. Well, I promised you I wouldn't waste your time, so we're just going to dive right into these questions.
Let's dive in.
All right. Thank you so much. So, first question, kind of a big question, but would you share a bit about your experience in healthcare for us?
It's been a battle, Frank.
Anything good, it's a battle, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. You got to fight the battle, they
That's
say.
right.
As you know, chemicals are big money, and there's a lot of them out there. We use chemicals for carpet cleaning, window cleaning, surface cleaning, C. diff, TB. There's just a wide variety of chemicals out there and a wide variety of ingredients that go into them, and a big manufacturing process that's involved with it, and a delivery process that's involved with it. And those chemicals actually cause problems with our health. They cause respiratory irritations, they cause asthma, they cause allergies, they cause all these things that are very profitable as well. So it doesn't behoove a lot of people to get rid of the chemicals, which is what our device does. It's a system that creates a hypoallergenic disinfectant and all-purpose cleaner that replaces, like you mentioned, millions of products out in the market. So yeah, it's been a battle in healthcare because there's a lot of companies that profit from the chemicals that are sold to hospitals.
Yes.
And there's a lot of barriers to entry. A lot of hospitals have contracted with third-party environmental services companies. So those companies, if they're not manufacturing their own chemicals, they're contracted with chemical manufacturers.
Right.
So there's just a lot of layers. Again, it's been a battle.
Absolutely. That's been a battle. Absolutely.
It's been a
No
battle.
question. And I think that kind of fits into what our second question is a little bit. Would you tell us in general how the Aeroclean system works and what, here's the part that may apply to what you were just talking about, if any end user perceptions have to also be managed in the process and transition to the Aeroclean product?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're familiar with J-fill systems in
Yep.
janitor's closets, right? So currently the way it's set up is we have J-fill systems in janitor's closets. Chemicals are shipped to the hospital. They put those chemical concentrates in there. They're diluted down and dispensed into spray bottles and mop buckets, et cetera.
Okay.
So what we do is we have a computerized device that's patented, and we install it in the janitor's closet, and we hook it up to the water line and add salt pellets in it. And inside the device, it separates the salt. So there's no salt in the final product.
Okay.
But it separates the salt to make something called hypochlorous acid, which is what our white blood cells produce to fight pathogens, which is why it's non-toxic, right?
Okay, right.
And it's superbly effective at killing pathogens, a wide range, whether it's TB, C. diff, MRSA, everything. And the way it acts is it actually penetrates the cell wall very quickly versus quaternary ammonia products that kind of smother bacteria and viruses, right?
Right.
So very short contact time, very safe. That's one of the products that's produced. And then the other product that's produced is an all-purpose cleaner degreaser. And both products that come out of the system are over 99.9% water with
Wow.
just one active ingredient in them.
Wow.
So I guess the biggest pushback we get is it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
No way could this do what you say it does. And, unfortunately, if we were a large chemical company that was going to these healthcare groups and saying, hey, look at this technology, look what we have, we'd be everywhere,
Gotcha.
everywhere.
Gotcha.
But, nobody gets fired doing business with AT&T, right? If you
Right.
take a chance with a company like us, that seems too good to be true,
Sure.
it kind of makes people hesitant.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Your website outlines it perfectly. Tell me a little bit, and this isn't a question that's on here, but it's just salt and water, is that right? Or salt?
Those are the ingredients, but
Okay.
when you separate salt, and recombine it with water, the
Okay.
sodium becomes sodium hydroxide,
Okay.
which is the active ingredient in soaps and detergents. We
Okay.
just, that's the part that actually does the work.
Gotcha.
But what chemical companies do is they'll add other chemicals for color and scent and bubbles, and all those chemicals fight with each other.
I see.
So pretty soon you have a slew of chemicals that actually does more harm than good, right?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Um, and then the chloride part of the salt becomes hypochlorous acid, a species of chlorine. And that's what our
Okay.
white blood cells produce to fight pathogens. And it's actually the part of bleach that does the work.
Oh wow. I had no idea.
Yeah,
You've really boiled it down to the finest degree. That's awesome.
yeah.
Okay. So was
So,
AeroClean invented for a specific healthcare audience, or is the system viable for use in a variety of settings?
Frank, I was actually in this industry before I started my own
I think
company.
I remember that.
Yeah, I worked for a company called Electrolyzer Corp back in 2008. And
Okay.
then back then I was in the hotel business doing recycling programs for
Right.
hotels. So I learned about this technology, the same concept, on-site production of a disinfectant, and cleaner. And I started putting it in all of our hotels in LA that I was working with in recycling programs like the Beverly Hilton and the Sheraton.
Nice.
And pretty quickly we got LA Times, Fox News. I mean, it was green. It was helping janitorial workers with their health,
Yeah.
work spectacularly cleaning carpet and, cleaning surfaces and sanitizing. And a large chemical company came and bought and shelved them.
Oh,
So when I first got into the industry, I was like, I have to go save those janitor workers because I saw how negatively the products were affecting their health,
yeah,
their
absolutely.
breathing, skin dermatitis, all these things.
Yes.
And then we started messing around with the process, got a process patented, and started getting it tested at an EPA audited laboratory. And they were even blown away. They were going, this kills everything quickly. This can be a healthcare grade disinfectant. And
Wow.
not only can it be a healthcare grade disinfectant, but at that time, we're talking back in 2015, 14, 15, the CDC was saying, hey, ideally, product users should use products that can kill germs in 1 minute because, human factor, nobody's going to let a product sit for longer than that.
Right.
So that was our goal. We set out for a 1 minute contact time, healthcare grade disinfectant goal, and we reached it.
That is fantastic.
So, yeah. So it just so happened that it was good enough to get into healthcare, and that was
So,
spectacular.
yeah, hence the leap from
Yeah.
industrial to healthcare. I love it.
Right, but it's also food safe. So we're in restaurants, schools, hospitals, extended care. So really, it's anywhere you need to sanitize, disinfect, clean, everywhere.
Why is it the good
That's why
things?
it's so disruptive too.
That's right, exactly. Why is it the
Yeah.
good things are always so hard to understand and
Oh,
implement?
yeah. It's
It's too good
almost
to be true.
it's too simple.
Yeah, yeah,
It's,
that's
it's
right.
too simple. Yeah.
All right, with all of your energy and all of your enthusiasm as a CEO, how do you maintain a culture of innovation and inspire your team? I think some of that's the enthusiasm that you
I think they've seen me never quit.
have.
Right? I mean, even every knockdown, I'm like, okay, how do I get back up?
I love
What
it.
ring, what ring do I go into next?
Yeah, yeah.
But recently, actually, in the last year or so, with the development of our device, part of that was actually a couple of years ago, we patented some conductivity sensors.
Mhm.
So conductivity sensors measure the electrical flow in fluids,
Okay.
and we actually have a new V3 system for our Aeroclean device coming out, and we've incorporated these sensors in there as an extra level of measurement, right,
Okay.
for the outcoming products.
Yes.
But there's a lot of applications with those sensors in oil and gas and farming and agriculture. So it's been really exciting for the team to not only be able to develop a new product, but then also, we've gained some really interesting alliances in oil and gas that
Yeah, some of the ancillary things that flow from that.
it's made it very exciting, right?
Wow,
Yeah.
you've got some other things to grow into. I love it.
Oh yeah, we'll be announcing some stuff here soon.
Okay, I can't wait. I'll stay tuned. So, last question. I told you to go quickly. With all of your experience, what is a piece of advice you received early in your career that perhaps you still fall back on today that kind of guides you through that one piece of advice, perhaps that somebody gave you?
Stay in the game.
Oh,
You
that's an
haven't
excellent
lost.
one.
Yeah, you haven't lost until you're out of the game.
Oh, I love that. That speaks volumes right there. That's excellent. And you're a
Uh,
reflection of that.
I'll never quit, Frank.
Yeah. I love it.
Alt.
Yeah. Well, excellent, Rayne. I mean, I've had fun with this. This is great. Your
Too.
company's fantastic. I encourage everybody to at least look at your website. It's unbelievable what
Yeah.
this does. And sounds like it is too good to be true until you read it and it makes sense. And then your presentation today. Thank you very much. Thanks for making time
You're
for this.
welcome. Have a
So
good one. Thanks,
I hope you
Frank.
have a great rest of the week. Thanks, Rayne.
Too.
This has been MediGroup's Frank's Fast Five with Healthcare Executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters, and hosted by Frank Gillespie. Special thanks to Rayne Guest, founder and CEO for Arrowclean. This has been a presentation of MediGroup Physician Services.